Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunar Rose Love and Astrology Night. So, tonight we're looking at the energies for the week of July 6th through July 12th. And we are going to be focusing on the Capricorn full moon. The full moon's going to come in later in the week on the 10th, guys. So, we're definitely getting a very good head start or jump start on this very powerful and emotional full moon. So I'm going to use tonight's hour to discuss this full moon. I do want to mention, guys, that if I had to go and decide which cosmic influence was going to be the most powerful for the week of July 6th through the 12th, I definitely would be challenged to choose between the Capricorn full moon and, of course, Uranus moving into Gemini. That's going to be pretty big, too. It is 8 o'clock, guys, so Carson is right on time to be angry at somebody out there for sure. So if you guys hear him in the background, I promise he's good to go. He's just very vocal 10-month-old, right? Vanessa coming in on Facebook. Welcome, Starlova, Sandra on YouTube. Welcome, ladies. We are multi-streaming, so we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch tonight. Unfortunately, I am still in the midst of the fight with TikTok for my videos. It's not looking good for me, guys. It's not looking good for me. I think I'm going to end up having to go live on TikTok on a different day, which really stinks because that's the whole point of multi-streaming is being able to do it, all at one time and knocking it out. But it's just too much of an opportunity over there on TikTok for me just to, ignore it and let it go. We did get monetized. We met all the requirements and we do get paid to go live over there. So if you notice me pop on live on the TikTok, guys, from time to time, that's what I'm doing. If you're not following me over on TikTok, guys, you're going to miss out, right? Links are always going to be in the description box. All right, I will read for the collective after I give you this Capricorn full moon energy report. And then, of course, I'm going to pick some free readings to do at the end, guys. So hang out, grab a water, get comfortable. I have a lot of hopefully helpful information. All right, so let's get into it right away. Capricorn full moon is going to come in on July 10th, guys. It's coming in at 1:37 p.m. That's my time, Central Time. So you can correlate that with your time zone. The core energy with this full moon is going to be all about discipline meets emotional release. So when I say that this is going to be a very emotional full moon, I don't say that lightly, right? It's definitely I know we always say full moons are powerful and they're illuminating and all of that is true. But this full moon is definitely going to be an emotional one for sure. All right, so the fundamental tension here is going to be Capricorn versus Cancer energy. So the full moon, of course, is in Capricorn, and that's all about structure and ambition and responsibility. It's also about your long-term goals, authority, maturity, right? The sun right now is in Cancer, so that's where this Cancer energy is coming in. And whenever there's a full moon, remember, guys, it's opposing, so you should be able to see there on your screen. I actually put up our chart of the Capricorn full moon, so you can see it's opposing, which means it's completely opposite of the sun. And the Cancer energy that the sun is in right now is all about nurturing your home life, family life, emotional security. It's about trusting your intuition and, of course, vulnerability as well. So the conflict is, how do you balance your ambition with your emotional needs? And that's where this full moon is really going to give us a little bit of a tug of war, so to speak, right? All right, so here's going to be the key energies that you're going to be working with, Capricorn full moon. This is definitely a reality check on commitments. And the reason that is, again, is going to be that Capricorn energy. Remember, guys, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And where is Saturn right now? Oh, it just coincidentally happens to be burning up in Aries, right? That energy, again, still very powerful and going to impact us for quite some time. So this Capricorn energy is going to demand honesty, and it's going to ask you if your efforts are aligned with your true goals. So you're going to have to ask yourself some hard questions like what obligations do you need to release or even maybe restructure, right? So that's Capricorn full moon. Also, some emotional versus practical needs. So the Cancer influence is going to ask you, are you sacrificing your emotional well-being for your success? So that's going to be a big one for a lot of us. And it's the Capricorn's influence is going to ask you, are you avoiding hard work because of fear or comfort? All right. Also, Capricorn full moon, authority and self discipline. It's going to be a time to own your power and step into leadership. Could be in your career or any of your personal projects, especially those of you that are sharing your gifts through your spiritual awakening, right? It could also be about releasing control. Where are you being overly rigid at this time? Where are you like, no, it has to be my way or the highway? That definitely is going to be illuminated with this particular full moon. It's also about long-term vision. That's Capricorn energy all day, every day. It thrives on strategy, right? So the best use of this energy is going to be to set a 6-month goal. Guys, you can do that in so many ways. Journaling is going to be my number one recommendation, right? It's just the easiest way to do it. Grab a journal, buy a journal. Check out my journals in the description box, right? Grab a piece of paper if you can't. Go get a journal and just write things down. I feel like we're lazy and we just don't do that enough, sadly. Break it into actionable steps, like how, I always say I script these lives, right? Like I write, like, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read for the collective after that. I'm going to offer readings at the end. And that's how I manifest, right? It's how we manifest these lives. So you're going to do the same thing for your 6-month goal, and you're going to break it down into actionable steps. What could you actually do? Not daydreaming, lulu lala stuff, like reasonable things that you're actually going to be able to take steps towards this goal. And then you're going to release your distractions. And that's where most of us are going to get, distracted, right? Because we won't want to release our distractions. But this full moon will definitely illuminate those distractions so that you're able to release them. All right, so here's the collective impact with this particular full moon, right? Sandra says stocking up on the Kleenex. Definitely, right? Okay, so collective impact is going to be societal because you're going to focus on systems, governments, and corporations. That's Capricorn themes. And you can expect discussions on things like accountability, restructuring, or even economic shifts. On a personal level, people are going to feel a push and pull, like I said earlier, between your career and your family, or facing the consequences of past choices. That definitely could be also this very powerful full moon. All right, so here's some practical steps for us to be able to harness this energy. Some do's and don'ts, right? Do review and adjust your plans. So what long-term goals need refining? Release what's weighing you down, anything that's outdated, any outdated responsibilities or self-doubt need to be released with this full moon. Guys, remember, I feel like this is a big common misconception here. People want to release people during full moons, right? They're like, I don't want to deal with this person anymore. Get out of my life. I'm going to light this candle during this full moon. And then they show up the next day and you're like, what the bleep? It doesn't work. That's not true. It's just that you're doing it on the wrong lunar phase. One, full moons are culminations, right? So it's supposed to look at, like, you're supposed to look at what all have you done. There are times that you're going to release things during the full moon, but it's things like negative thoughts, bad habits, like, I'm talking about here. And Capricorn full moon is going to help you do that. But if you're looking to release like a person, a place, a situation you're in, something like that, that's the waning moon. That's the waning moon. It comes after the full moon, right? All right, so again, release what's weighing you down, outdated responsibilities, and any self-doubt. Balance your work and home, so schedule time for both ambition and emotional care. Embrace discipline, guys, that's it. That's the only way that you're going to get through the next 3 years of Saturn, right? Start a 30-day challenge. The 30-day challenges can definitely be fun, right? Anything, fitness, finance, skill building, anything. Guys, go learn about AI, right? I know you don't want to, but I promise you probably need to, right? I'm learning stuff still every day, all the time. Diana told me something totally like blew my mind. not too long ago. So it's like there's always something new to learn, right? Um, become aware of your, current uh, state of the world, right? Become aware of like public or not public world events and things like this, right? Just become more knowledgeable. Um, especially if you, I just want to point out, especially if you have like any strong Aries placement, you're going to hear a lot of astrologers talk smack about Aries, because Saturn is in Aries now. And honestly, if you just embrace that discipline, for me, I needed this discipline. Like I kept just effing up, right? Like I just kept detouring off the path. So Aries, Saturn in Aries is good for me. I'm looking forward to the help with the self-discipline so that I can finally like move through things and move through obstacles, right? So just wanted to point that out, especially if you have some Aries energy. All right, here's what you want to avoid. Self-criticism, because Capricorn can definitely be very harsh. You want to temper it with the Cancer's self-care energy. Also, avoid overcommitting at this time. Saying yes to things that just drain you. Stop doing that. And here's the thing: like if you're having spiritual awakening, you know, right? Like Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You hear all the things that say like you're overdoing something. This is too much of something. You need to slow this down. Like you hear all the stuff, right? So you just push against it and you do it anyway. And then, the things happen. So this is going to be the full moon. It's going to illuminate that and help you, stop doing that. All right. So I actually have some very Capricorn full moon themed affirmations for you guys. If you want to write them down, grab a pen and paper. And these are affirmations you can say in your morning practice, in midday when you feel like you're being challenged by this full moon energy. The night before, as you're prepping for it to come in, right? So the first one I have is I honor my ambitions without sacrificing my heart. A very good mix of Capricorn and Cancer there. I honor my ambitions without sacrificing my heart. Next one I have is I release what no longer serves my growth. I release what no longer serves my growth. And the third one is I am both disciplined and compassionate with myself and others. So I feel like I've been talking about accountability with a lot of you guys just in the last, couple of weeks. But I feel like I've been saying for a minute that accountability was going to be a 2025 theme. What's happening right now is most of us have went through spiritual awakening. Most of us have came to dark night of the soul. Most of us have, started to integrate our shadow self, which has allowed us to enforce our boundaries much stronger than ever before. And I feel like a lot of us are struggling with that balance of enforcing those boundaries and having compassion and understanding at the same time. There's definitely a fine line there, right? So I feel like that's a big theme that collectively we're all kind of dealing with right now. So Capricorn full moon, again, remember the core themes are about structure, discipline, emotional maturity, and systemic change. So I'm going to actually break down um, all 12 rising signs. I'm going to tell you which house Capricorn is going to affect for you personally. And I'm going to show you how this full moon is going to highlight where you need to take responsibility, where you need to release any rigidness, where you need to balance your ambitions with your emotional needs. All right, ready? So let's start with Aries rising. Who's Aries rising? Just watching. All right, so Aries rising, Capricorn is actually your 10th house, right? So that focus is all about career, reputation, and your public life. So the energy that this full moon is going to bring you is you're going to see a career crossroads. This could be about recognition or, again, restructuring. And the challenge here is going to be feeling torn between your professional ambition and your personal life. So some practical steps or action you could take here is have a candid talk with your superiors about your role and set boundaries to protect your private time. All right, that was Aries rising. So moving on, Taurus rising. If you're a Taurus rising, this Capricorn full moon is going to impact your ninth house. And the focus here is about your beliefs, travel, higher education as well. And so the energy you're going to be seeing is definitely a test on your philosophies, definitely maybe even like long-term visions. And the challenge is going to be rigid thinking blocking your growth. So some practical steps or action that you can take. It's going to be things like enrolling in a course, or you can even plan an educational trip. A question you could ask yourself is, what dogma are you ready to release, right? All right, here we go. Gemini rising. So Capricorn is going to affect your eighth house if you are Gemini rising. So this is all about your shared resources, intimacy, and of course, transformation. So the energy here is financial or emotional power dynamics could definitely surface for you, Gemini rising. Challenges could be control issues in joint ventures, relationships, that type of thing. Practical steps here could be to review your debts, investments with a financial advisor, and of course, initiate any vulnerable conversations that you need to about personal needs. All right. If you are a Cancer rising like me, Capricorn is going to, full moon is going to impact your seventh house. Yay, right? So this is all about our partnerships. This could be in business, marriage, soul contracts, right? This energy, again, is relationship accountability moments. So get ready, guys. And the challenges here could be where it's going to illuminate over giving or resentful imbalances. And the practical action that you can take could be renegotiate your terms in a partnership, practice saying things like, this no longer works for me. That has been very helpful for me personally. All right, so next I have Leo rising. So if you're a Leo rising, the Capricorn full moon is going to impact your sixth house on your birth chart. And this is all about your health, daily routines, and service. Um, Burnout or inefficiency in your system could be illuminated with this full moon. The challenges that you could face could be neglecting self-care for productivity, right? And the practical steps you can take here is going to be to revamp your work schedule. You can add breaks, move more often, right? Donate any unused items. That could be symbolic of releasing clutter for you, Leo rising. All right, everybody still with me? We're almost finished, guys, before we go to the collective. Okay, so Virgo rising is next. Virgo rising, Capricorn full moon is going to impact your fifth house. And this is your creativity, your romance, children. This energy is going to be a creative project or a love life requires discipline type of energy. Challenges could be self doubt, stifling your joy, and some practical steps or action here could be to finish a stalled creative endeavor or plan a fun, structured date or playtime with your kids or even just your inner child. How many of you feel like you've been doing a lot of inner child work just in the last, I don't know, 30 days? All right, Libra rising. Capricorn is going to, full moon is going to impact your fourth house. So this is about your home, family, and roots. And the energy focus here is about family responsibilities versus your personal ambitions. So your challenges could be guilt about neglecting your home life, domestic life, and practical action could be to declutter your living space, especially any type of paperwork, remove all of that and set a family meeting to discuss your personal needs in your new clean space. All right, Scorpio rising. So there's a lot of you that are Scorpio rising. Ready? Capricorn full moon is going to impact your third house. And this is all about communication, siblings, and local community. So the energy here is a necessary but difficult conversation will most likely arise. The challenge is going to be avoiding conflict with whoever it is, neighbors, relatives. The practical action or steps that you can take will be addressing a lingering misunderstanding, You can even do something like write a letter, even if you don't send it, right? But it'll help you process some of those emotions. And that's going to be Scorpio rising. All right, if you're a Sagittarius rising, Capricorn full moon is going to impact your second house. And this is all about money, values, and self worth. So the energy focus here is financial reality check or worthiness crisis. Some challenges could be fear of lack blocking your opportunities. And some practical actions or steps that you can take here is going to be you can negotiate a raise or you can raise your own prices. You can sell or donate unused items. That's going to help you break that scarcity mindset. That's going to be Sagittarius rising. All right, if you're Capricorn rising, who said they were Capricorn rising? Sandra? All right, here we go. Capricorn rising, this is, of course, your first house, right? Full moon is going to impact your self, identity, and appearance. And the energy that's going to be illuminated for you, Capricorn rising, is personal reinvention time, right? A public image could also shift at this time if you're out in the public. Challenges could be feeling judged or pressured to conform, and practical steps here could be to update things like your resume, even your wardrobe. You could drop a habit that doesn't align with where you want to go, where your personal growth is headed. That's Capricorn rising. All right, if you're an Aquarius rising, Capricorn full moon is going to impact your 12th house. And this is all about your subconscious, secrets, spirituality. The energy that's going to be illuminated is hidden fears or even past patterns could resurface. And the challenges that you may experience, things like self sabotage or avoidance of healing, even. So, practical steps in action could be to start therapy, even do shadow work. Guys, shadow work is for those of you that don't want to go to therapy. I'm not joking because that's literally all it is, right? Shadow work is therapy. It asks you all those questions that a therapist asks you when you go sit on the couch. So if you're like, I don't know, most people, and you're scared, or it makes you anxious, and you're like, I don't want people to know my problems. You do your own, right? You do your own, and that's literally shadow work, right? It's becoming more and more popular because more and more people are willing to say, hey, I'm having a spiritual awakening, right? Which we all know. Like I always say, a spiritual awakening, everything is a label, guys, right? Everything is a label. So if I could take spiritual awakening and I could put things on there like emotional breakdown, broken heart, mental breakdown. It's a breakdown of the mind, right? Because your mind works and thinks in one way, and then all of a sudden it doesn't anymore. Right? So there's lots of labels that we put here. But shadow work is becoming more popular because people are realizing, hey, I'm having a spiritual awakening, and I need to heal myself. I need to work on me. And instead of paying the hundreds and hundreds of dollars for therapy, which I'm not saying don't do it. If you can afford it, by all means, please do shadow work and go to therapy for Pete's sake, right? We all need it. But if you can't, shadow work is definitely the way to go, and the journals is definitely the way to go. And of course, I'm totally bragging here because I'm no biased. But the instant download journals are the best way to go, right? Like you can download my journals right straight to your phone. You can edit, you can put your answers in right there where it asks. You can save it. You can create your own files, and you can just look at it and answer the question in your head if you don't want to write it down, because some of us are a little lazy and we don't want to take a pen to paper, right? um, but the point is like, and people are like, Rosa, is that it? That's all I got to do? I just got to answer that question? Yeah, and that's something. Like, I don't know what people thought. Like, I think that they thought, like, I don't know, you go to therapy or you do shadow work, and you dive into a question. And I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be able to answer every question like right at the drop of a dime. Like when you read the question, I'm not saying you're going to have an answer at the time. Some of those questions, in fact, most of them, the whole point is to make you think on it for a little bit, right? But the point is that that's how you heal. Bring it back to the surface, right? Because you've buried it deep down for however long. and then you face it and you heal from it, right? That's literally that's it. That's shadow work. I feel like people are so, I don't know, scared or make it into something so much bigger than it actually is. But yeah, guys, seriously, links always in the description box. Download it right to your phone. Answer the questions. Move forward. Right. All right. Another thing is meditate on what karma are you ready to release? Because that is also happening. Saturn and Aries, and of course, Uranus, this big transit that's happening on the 7th. And then, of course, this Capricorn full moon. All right, Pisces, last one. Pisces rising, Capricorn full moon is going to impact your 11th house. This is friendships, goals, friendships, groups, and aspirations. So the energy illuminated here is social circle audit, who aligns with your goals and who doesn't. Get ready to release the people that don't. And if you're wondering, by the way, Pisces rising, if you're like, who doesn't? Like everybody loves me, right? Who doesn't want me to succeed? Who's not cheering you on, right? Like that's it's easy. It's easy to see who's not cheering you on. This full moon is going to illuminate that for you. It's also going to illuminate people pleasing, any type of people pleasing you're doing in any type of toxic network. Practical actions for you, Pisces rising, is going to be distance, of course, from draining friendships and reconnecting with old allies who actually share your vision. That's Pisces rising. All right, guys, that is what I have for the Capricorn full moon. Not true. Key for all signs. Capricorn lesson. What structure needs to be built or released? Focus on that. And the Cancer reminder. Are you nurturing yourself while you're striving? All right. Now that's all I have for Capricorn full moon. Jenna, welcome. All right, so we do have picture tonight, guys. Let me know if you have a little pretty picture on your screen there. I've pulled the Power of Love cards out to do our collective reading. This is where I'm going to look at the masculine and feminine energies. Guys, please remember we all have masculine and feminine energies. How you correlate these readings is completely up to you. I'm going to use them for my own inner masculine and feminine energies. I encourage you to do the same. All right. So the masculine energy is what I always say is your protect and provide energy. It's the energy that makes you lock your doors at night, right? That type of thing. Your feminine energy is the nurturing energy. I always say it's the energy that makes you wash your hair, right? We all do that, except we do both of those things, right? And of course, if you're having a spiritual awakening, the goal is to balance those two. You don't want to be in one more than the other. And again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman. That has nothing to do with this. All right, let's start masculine energy first. So we have cause and effect. Ooh, I heard the word karma. It says you're aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent of change and the foundation of your results. So masculine energy could definitely be dealing with some cause and effect. Saturn is the planet of karma, guys. I know I've talked about Saturn a lot because Saturn already in Aries. Neptune too. So I'm just saying there's so much going on. But it's definitely impacting the transits that are happening after that transit, right? So it's going to impact the Uranus and Gemini. It's going to impact the Capricorn full moon, following that. So it definitely feels like, for example, for the masculine energy, and I'm just an example, I'm spitballing here, right? Maybe the masculine wasn't self-disciplined enough, right? And they could be experiencing some cause and effect, some karma from lack of self-discipline. Like that could be what's happening with the masculine energy right now. All right, let's pull Power of Love activation for the feminine energy. Did I miss Virgo rising? No way. Tell me, Jenna. I mean, it's possible. You never know. All right, kindness. kindness comes out for the feminine. You're a humanitarian made of love, and you are able to share that energy with others. Okay, let's talk about that. I feel like the feminine energy could be struggling. Um, like I said it earlier, it's like to find that balance between um, having a boundary and enforcing a boundary, right? And having compassion and understanding, like all at the same time. I feel like that is a very big struggle for the feminine right now. If we're before we wouldn't even have a boundary, right? Like we almost like we would say that we were going to, not let people walk on us, or we weren't going to people please, or we were going to step into our power, all this stuff. But then we didn't actually do it, and we allowed people to walk on us again and again and again, right? So it's this energy of just talking about it, but not actually doing it. And then, as we start to do our shadow work, we start to integrate that shadow energy, which is what gives us the power, right, to enforce our boundaries. And when that happens, I feel like we struggle again, this fine line of I want to be strong enough so that people don't walk on me, but I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be cold. I want to have understanding, right? I think it was last night in the members only. We talked about Mercury retrograde. So if you guys missed that, of course, that's going to be under the members tab over on my YouTube channel. But I talked about how um, I think Carson is knocking on my door. I talked about needing to find the balance, right, between the two. I heard fifth house, and it will affect family and inner child stuff. All right, so I pulled it up, Jenna. Virgo rising is going to impact your fifth house. It is about creativity, romance, and children. Creative projects. Discipline with creative projects, and discipline in your love life. Um, The challenge for Virgo rising is self-doubt, stifling your joy. And it says you need to finish any stalled creative endeavors. I hope that was helpful. Oh, and playtime with your kids or inner child, right? That's when I started talking about the inner child work. All right, let's look at the bridging energy. Bridging energy, please, for the masculine and feminine energy. We have forgiveness. Ooh-wee. I don't know. It came out so heavy, so heavy. So I'm not sure if I feel like it's everything, but I was just gonna say, like, I'm not sure if this is like forgiveness between the masculine and the feminine energy, or if it's like the masculine accepting, or I mean, it's like both of them accepting, someone's apology, or if it's both of them even apologizing for something. I feel like it's all of it. It's literally all of it. So just like the feminine is, like I was saying, struggling between enforcing the boundary but not being, cold-hearted, the masculine could be struggling um, with their emotions as well, especially if they're balancing karma at this time, right? Like that could definitely make masculine energy frustrated, um, and maybe even angry or resentful, and maybe trying not to lash out at this time could be super challenging for the masculine. That could definitely be the cause and effect as well, energy that they're in, right? Patience is on the bottom. It says you're able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. I forgot I pulled Llewellyn out. I do want to use the Llewellyn Tarot. And I'm going to clarify a little bit. Guys, tonight's readings, channeled messages, full moon, Capricorn full moon guidance, one card, channeled message. I do have my Talking to Heaven cards out. Again, one card, channeled message. The only paid energy exchange reading I'm offering is the twin flame masculine and feminine. So if you want your own masculine and feminine energy reading, it's $10 tonight, guys. $10. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do at the end here. All right, so let's look at that masculine cause and effect. I have Ace of Pentacles. So Ace of Pentacles is this energy of a new beginning, a new start, a new offer. I think again, it's like all these energies. Normally, it's very direct, like it just means this one thing. But there's so much happening for the masculine energy that it's like it's a whole bunch of Ace of Pentacles. So again, masculine, I feel like is asking for forgiveness, but is also, I guess, requiring or accepting of an apology. And I do feel that all of that has to do with some type of new start, new offer, new beginning for the masculine energy. I want to point out that it's earth energy, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, right? All right, let's look at the feminine energy. Jenna says, I was making plans for the summer of things to do with my son. I love that. Confirmation. All right, so we have 9 of Swords. So there's definitely some, I don't want to say anxiety, but I think you're just kind of going back and forth. It's, like I was saying, with the kindness card, it's like, you know, you have this boundary, you're enforcing the boundary. I'm getting in trouble because I like to, I get pissed off and I block everybody. That's what I do. A little vulnerability moment there. So spirit is not like, we're not supposed to block people, y'all. Like, I remember I was in this relationship and I was trying to get out of the relationship and I really struggled to get out of the relationship. And all my friends were like, Rosa, you gotta block, you gotta block him, you gotta block him from everywhere. Just block, block, block. I was like, no, no. Okay, now it's super easy, right? But the thing I know is, and even back then I knew, is that the whole point of my spiritual awakening is to overcome my own triggers and challenges, right? So you become so, I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to think of here. I don't want to sound like better than now because it's nothing like that. But you ascend. I don't know. You become so enlightened, right? That people don't trigger you anymore, right? Things don't trigger you. Your faith becomes so strong that you know what, you don't have to run or hide. You're able to face everything, right? Does that make sense? So that's what's happening in spiritual awakening. You're becoming stronger, wiser, braver. So spirit's not like, oh, run, block, hide. Now, I'm not saying like if it's for your personal safety, physical safety, like run, block, hide, of course, right? But I'm just saying, like, don't run from like your problems and try to like ignore them and pretend that they don't exist, right? Like that's what I'm saying. So I feel like the feminine energy is struggling with that line, that boundary line. Like, where do I, or how do I enforce my boundary, but have, again, compassion and understanding at the same time? And I think that could be a big struggle for divine feminine. All right, let's look at the forgiveness card. This is the bridging energy. So bridging energy, when I made this spread, is this is our current spiritual lesson, right? So this is the current spiritual lesson that we're learning. For those of you that use these readings for what I like to call counterpart energy, or the person that awakened you, right? It means that if you're truly on this specific type of spiritual awakening journey, it means that you and this person are learning this same lesson at the same time. And it doesn't matter, Miss L, welcome. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be anywhere in the world. You can be together physically, not together, doesn't matter. But you're learning this lesson. Again, with other people, with each other, doesn't matter. but you're learning it at the same time. Erica, welcome. So, forgiveness, it says you're now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. Guys, I want you to know Miss L gifted me the power of love activation. And this is how I call her. Like, I'm going to use these today, and maybe Miss L will stop it and say hello, right? So that is the bridging energy. I do want to point out for feminine energy, we had the swords, the air signs. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I know, guys. Carson is getting vocal back there. He's just saying hi, guys. All right, the star comes out. So big confirmation of the new beginning, of the new start. I think you're overthinking divine feminine. I think you need to, at this point in your journey, you know you need to enforce your boundary, and you know how to do it in a compassionate and understanding way, right? And I think that it's very possible there's a new offer coming from divine masculine. And I believe that offer has something to do with, again, forgiveness, healing, and just a clean slate. Like, let's just start over. I think there's clearly so much has happened since the beginning of the awakening, right? So it's like now we have so much knowledge. Things are happening so quickly. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, guys. You always see the stars in the star card. You see them like in the background. They look like snowballs. Um, it definitely is supposed to represent this energy of things kind of um, you know, coming in quickly, right? And so I feel like for both divine masculine and feminine, there's this energy of there's so much going on that it's in our best interest to heal, balance these energies, and give each other a clean slate, a clean start. All right, so now I'm going to pull some guidance. And I'm pulling from the angels and ancestors. These were actually gifted to me by Diana. And I have the book out tonight, so we're actually going to read it right out of the book, so don't miss anything. So we have the winner card coming out. It says take care of your needs. We have the snake card on the bottom. It says shed your old skin. All right, so I'm going to read the winter card. Are you guys ready for this? Ready? It's on page 144. Coincidence, right? All right, let's get to it. All right, so the winner card says take care of your needs. Do everything you need to be at your best. Then move beyond your fears and limitations. So, for many of the animal realms, winter is a time of hibernation and retreat. We're actually in summertime here where I'm at. It says you may wish to curl up into a ball too, but although you may not feel as bright as you'd like to be, a primal force within is encouraging you to continue. Wow, it's definitely that my absolute favorite. Keep pushing, right? That's the message. All right, it says the winter card features a wolf, one of few animals that stay active all year round. The wolves know what it's like to work alone or thrive within a pack. So if you feel you need to go it alone at this time, know that wolf medicine will help you move beyond your insecurities and relax in your own space. All right, let's talk about that for a moment because that's been really big. And I've not wanted to talk about it because I don't want to upset anybody, especially my beautiful, beautiful moderator ladies, because guys, they've been with me for so long and I'm so, so grateful for them. They come in all the lives all the time as often as they can, and they help me with the chats. And I finally, we finally stopped making those huge lists because it was just so overwhelming for everyone. And I felt like we weren't really able to like enjoy these lives, right? So now we just let spirit pick like who's getting the readings at the end, right? But let's get into it real quickly. A big lesson that I have been experiencing for the last probably, I would say, about a month now, um, is going to be codependency. And I know that that's something we've actually been learning about. Spirit's been kind of like, I feel like Spirit's just been back of the head, right? Like, I don't know. All the time, telling me. And so I'm having to break away from anything that I'm codependent of, right? And that's just been happening for a good amount of time now. And then when I really thought, like, oh, that's it, I'm completely away from everything. I'm not codependent of anything. I'm completely out here on my own. I'm standing on this hill. It's just me, the wind, and God, right? And then my moderator ladies were brought up to me. Um, I'm so used to them being in the lives. I'm so used to them coming in. And one thing I know about this journey, I've learned about this journey, is that like I'm here to help you remember. That's it. Like that's my purpose. That's about as easily as I can break this down. So that means if spirit draws you to me, then you're having this type of spiritual awakening and you just need to remember who you are. But then you're going to have your own journey and you're going to have something that you're going to go do. And that's going to happen eventually to each and every one of you. And so that used to scare me a lot. Like, what am I going to do when Sandra takes off, right? Like when she starts, her awakening, her purpose, and she just starts, remember Rachel? Y'all, I miss Rachel. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many that have come through PLR, and seriously, my job was literally just to remind them who they are. And when they remembered, they flew, right? Um, I I used to have like this issue with church. And this is the only example I can think of, so I'm not trying to like compare myself to a church or anything like this. But like when I went to church, I went and I wanted to learn everything about God, and I could just soak in all this information, right? I just soaked in everything there was. But what happened was I grew, right? Like I soaked all that information in, and then I knew that there was more. There's more outside of that church. But the church was only going to teach me what the church knew, right? Or what type of church it was or whatever. But there's something I want to explain to you about churches. Are they like a stepping stone? Is that where most people go and find God at first? Yeah, absolutely. Sure is. Um, do some people stay there forever and ever and ever and ever? Yes. Yes, they do. Does that mean that they don't grow or they don't understand in their heart and their soul that there's more than that? No, it doesn't. See, I was such a judgmental being when I was at the beginning of this awakening that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe these people just stay here. And, it's always the same people opening the doors at the church, letting these people in, always. And one day, God smacked the shit out of me. And he was like, God, just shut up. Just shut up. Literally told me to shut up. um, there, job, God gives us jobs. He gives us jobs. He gives us responsibilities, duties, things that we're supposed to do. And he explained to me that not everybody at this place thought the same way. And not everybody at this place believed the same thing. And that I shouldn't label everyone at this building, right? He literally told me sometimes I put people there just to open the door for the fools that don't know how to find their way inside. I swear to you, that was the message. So I've had my moderator ladies for going on 5 years now. But one thing I know is we all grow, we all experience change, and I can't be codependent to the point that I can't do a live because I'm worried that a moderator might not be in the room, right? So I'm telling you all this because this is the massive lesson that I've been learning and that I've been overcoming. I'm so proud of myself too, because let me tell you, I get frustrated. Oh my gosh. And not like with moderators, but just like the lives, all the buttons, all the tabs, all the phones, all the cords, it's frustrating sometimes, y'all. It is, especially like when the sound decides it doesn't going to work for a month, out of nowhere, or video doesn't want to be clear. You know what I'm trying to say? Um, and so it's definitely frustrating. But the lesson I'm learning is I have to stand on my own. I have to stand on my own 2 feet. I can't rely or depend on anyone but God. That's it. That's it. And anytime I try to put somebody between me and him, between me and source, spirit, whatever label you got to put there, the only thing that's happening is they're being removed. That's it. That's the only thing that's happening. So I can't put anyone between me and that source energy. That's the lesson. So I feel like a lot of you are probably learning that same lesson, right? You can't be codependent. You can't hold on to anyone. No one's going to hold your hand. No one is coming to save you. I know. I know it's a hard lesson. I want to come out here and be like, there's fairies and unicorns and rainbows, and they're going to bring you magic fairy dust and they're going to sprinkle it over your life and everything's going to be great. And you can get up and tell yourself that, and you might be able to manifest it if you step into your power strong enough. But I promise you that if you're having a spiritual awakening, God's going to force you to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to be strong enough. You have to see your own worth. But once you do that, man, get ready to fly, right? All right, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake it. That's going to be the collective. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to clean up. Let me know if anybody wants to get a full moon message. Just general guidance tonight, guys. I do have the talking to heaven if anybody wants to do a channeled mediumship message. I'll be back again. So new schedule, right? Tuesday and Thursdays. So I'll be back Thursday night. And we're going to look at all 12 signs for this week that we looked at tonight, the July 6th through the 12th. Capricorn full moon is definitely the biggest cosmic influence because, and here, let me explain this to you. The Capricorn full moon energy, you're going to feel it before July 10th. You're going to feel it after July 10th. July 7th, that transit's a little bit different. Really from July 4th to July 7th. Those transits right there, and we talked about all of July transits, right? That video is going to be posted over under my lab tab, but on YouTube. But the Uranus, guys, the Uranus, that energy is definitely the most impactful. All right, Tiona Allen, welcome. Renee says, I know exactly what you mean. I love y'all. All right. Oh, Renee, I'll do yours next. But we're not doing any lists tonight. We're just letting spirit tell me which ones win. Let's do Tiona's full moon. I'm just doing a 1 card channeled message. I am going to use the angels and ancestors. We have the shaman card. Trust in higher forces. Tiona, this has something to do with healing. I don't like to do and I don't like to do like health questions. It's not because I can't. It's not because spirit doesn't like answer those questions, but it's because, and it's not my faith that's in question. Like, don't take this personal, but like I feel like, I don't know about other tarot readers, but I know for me personally, I don't like to do health related readings because it's not that I don't trust the message I'm hearing. It's not that I don't trust my faith in the message that I'm hearing. I don't trust the person's faith that I'm reading for. Like, I don't know where their faith is. It could be shaky. It could be, I could give a message and it not be helpful. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's like, that's not my goal. My goal is to come out here and be helpful, right? So that's why I don't do like health, like questions, right? But you didn't have a question. This is just a channeled message that came out. So I'm just going to give you the channeled message, right? One, a lot of us collectively are seeing shaman energy everywhere, right? There's definitely going to be a reason for that. Trust in higher forces. The channel message I received the moment I turned the card over is you could definitely have some health questions or health concerns, something physical about your body. You could be wondering about something. You could even be wondering like how something, like maybe you were worried about something before and then suddenly I don't know, you don't have that concern anymore. And you're like, what happened to that? Why wasn't I worried about that not too long ago? There's definitely this energy of understanding that there are higher forces at play, and our bodies heal in magnificent ways. All right, I'm leaving it there. I hope that was helpful. All right, Renee, let's do it. Capricorn full moon. Family member dies at 32. He was an officer, not married, no children. Funeral is on the 9th. His birthday is this Friday. I'm so sorry to hear that, Michelle. I hadn't picked up anything either. How interesting, right? I don't know. I feel like before, when I first started doing this, I was just so open, loosey goosey, right? um, and I would experience such powerful energies. And really, I think ever since the Kundalini thing happened, it's like I don't know. I really have to open the door and then I get to close the door. So it's kind of cool, right? Carson's giving some confirmation in the background. Oh, that's awesome, Tiana. Thank you. All right, Renee, here we go. Ready? You got the Elder card. Move beyond ancestral patterns. That's what we're all doing, right? We're breaking generational curses. It's very possible, Renee, that this Capricorn full moon. Why is Capricorn so important for you, Renee? Are you Capricorn, Renee? I'm having a brain fart. Tell me you're a Capricorn. What's your saying? Capricorn. So you're a Capricorn. It's just my Rosa brain fog. It's like what? Anyway, um, there's something you share with like a family member. It could be a dad. It's like a man, an older man. Um, but it could just be like a family person that has more masculine energies, I guess. Um, but this full moon could be illuminating something. Remember, it's about balance between your discipline and emotions, and of course, work and home, right? So there's some type of something that you share with a male figure in your family that this full moon is going to illuminate to you. That's like I feel like generational curse is harsh, but that's what the message spirit is saying. But it's like something that needs to be like healed once and for all type of energy there. I'm gonna leave that there. I hope that was helpful. All right, guys, I'm not seeing anyone else, and I don't want to scroll back through there. So if there's anyone, just let me know now while I'm wrapping it up. Don't forget, guys, I will be back Thursday night. I am trying to keep the same time. I want to keep the 8 p.m. That seems to work out for everyone. Star Lover. I didn't see Star Lover. Welcome, Star Lover. Star Lover is our oldest PLR member. I don't mean like she's the oldest. She's probably the youngest, but I just mean like she's been there the longest, right? Whenever I go look at my members' channel, she's always the first one on the list. I just think that's so cool. It's just, I don't know. I'm so grateful, y'all. Members only live last night, guys. If you missed it, go check it out. There was a lot of information. I see you, Vanessa. A lot of information that we gave about that Mercury retrograde. And again, guys, the reason we didn't do that for everyone is because we need to talk about Uranus. So we're going to talk more about Uranus in the coming days. Mercury retrograde stuff is going to be over under our members tab. All right, last one, Vanessa. Al says, I'll send you the picture in the video. I would appreciate it, my soul. Yes. See something, Vanessa. The Lord card. Take charge with authority. And then Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. This is the back and forth. This is the balance. So that means, Vanessa, that collective reading I just did, like, really hit spot on, right? But there's definitely this energy of the self-discipline, being authoritative, right? Drawing that boundary, enforcing that boundary, but also being compassionate, understanding, unconditional love, like all of that stuff. So it's like it's telling me this full moon, you could definitely be like riding some type of tight line when it comes to balancing like work and home, love and money, you know, that type of stuff. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Absolutely, Starlova, absolutely. All right, so remember, I'm focusing on Capricorn full moon, but really, guys, this whole week, go back and watch that astrology video. This whole week, all the way, I mean, from the 4th all the way, the 7th, the 9th, the 10th. I mean, it is, whew, it's unreal. All right, so 2 cards come out. The Trader card, exchange energy to create abundance. And Wise One, grow within your current situation. This could have something to do with collaboration. Starlova, it could have something to do with collaboration like in a work environment, but it could also be collaboration internally with your masculine and feminine energies. In other words, they come to work together in order to create some type of abundance. Grow within your current situation, Wise One. I think that's actually already happened, and that's why these energies are able to come together. If it's about collaborating with somebody at work, it was like at first you could have struggled to be able to do so, but you've gained some type of wise energy, right? Some type of wisdom. Maybe like, you know, how we've been all dealing with not letting people trigger us, right? So that could have something to do with that. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming in here, hanging out with me. I'm still a little frustrated with the TikTok, not sure how to go about that. I wanted to use my laptop camera tonight, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. Soon enough, though, I'm going to figure it out. But it's also very possible that I will just pop on over there and do some free readings and whatnot. So links in the description box if you haven't followed me over on TikTok yet. Guys, I did my first TikTok shop video today. You know what I'm talking about with the little orange cart? Oh my God, I'm so excited. I know, right? It's silly, but I love y'all. If you don't follow me over there, make sure to go do so. I love you. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.